a attendee.
Join meeting as an attendee.
Yeah, I think I could promote you to a host once you're in.
Redevelopment Agency Advisory Board meeting, webinar registration, the first name. Oops, that's not the first name. There we go.
Will people online be able to see the presentation too?
Yes.
They will be able to.
Yeah, I'm going to change which screen I'm sharing.
Thank you, everyone who is online. So this is the Redevelopment Agency Advisory Board meeting on Monday, October 6th at 11 a.m. We are just waiting for a quorum for one more member, and we will start the meeting shortly once we have a full quorum. Thank you.
Recording.
All right, thank you, everyone. We now have a quorum, so we're going to start the Redevelopment Agency Advisory Board meeting. The start time is 11:13 a.m. And I will do a roll call. So, Member Klein, absent. Vice Chair Colin Robertson, absent. Taylor Adams, absent. Kara Harris, online. Mr. Kenny, online. Member Oliverio is online. Member Pat Pawnee is online. Kurt Stitzer, absent. Mike Van Houten is present here in the room. Council Liaison, Mayor Sheevy, absent. And I'm here. All right. So we do have a quorum. Public notice has been given. Members of the public wishing to attend the meeting online can find the meeting link URL at https links.reno.gov/RAAB1006. All right. Moving on to the agenda. Do we have any public comment? Anyone online wishing to make public comment, please raise your hand and we will invite you to speak. All right. Seeing none. Are we making them panelists?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So members online, we're just making you all panelists, so you're able to participate. I'm sorry, couldn't see you here yet. All right. I'm gonna deputize Mr. Van Houten. Houghton or Houghton?
Houghton.
Houghton. Do you want to run the rest of the agenda?
I have no idea how to.
Okay.
We can help keep going if you'd like.
Yep. So having no public comment, the next agenda item is A3, approval of the agenda for possible action. We will need a motion on that.
Mike Van Houten, for the record, I move to approve.
Jay Kenny, I will second it.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries. Next item is A4, approval of the meeting minutes from September 8th, 2025. I will need a motion to approve.
Mike Van
Jay
Houten.
Kenny, I move to approve the minutes from September.
Michael Pagni, I second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries. A5 is the staff liaison reports. That would be me. So Brian McCardle, revitalization manager for the record. So we're coming off a very long week. We're all a little tired. The first item in the past week was the Grand Sierra groundbreaking of the arena and the phase 1 project. Thank you to this body who we know we threw you all into the fire very early on, dealing with possibly the largest project we will see in the foreseeable future. But it is great to see that project has kicked off with the redevelopment agency participating in their financing. They hope to have that arena open October of 2027. But they're moving. They're already grading dirt, doing some demo. Some new design renderings are out with their designer Gensler. And so we will give this body updates as that project comes along. Additionally, the week was EDON's Startup Week event. That was great. It was 4 days of conversations around startups, entrepreneurship, small business ownership, etc. And that event went from Startup Week into the Opti Music Festival, where our team got to participate in a panel discussion on the district's events and the future of downtown. One thing to mention there was the Opti Music Festival was the first opportunity to use not the barricades that we purchased, but barricades that were lent to us that worked out really well. From what Rachel had told me, it took 1 hour setup, which saved a couple hours of time from our streets team and staff putting in those barricades. But not only is that cost savings for the city, that's cost savings for the promoter as well. And so that pilot was great. And now we're just expecting to receive our official barricades ourselves so we can start rolling those out at future events. So thank you for approving our budget and the purchase of those barricades. I'll also mention that our Restore program has been open for almost a month and a half. We've received about $1.7 million in funding requests. Over 33 applications were received, and staff has reviewed those, and we're expecting to make an announcement on the awardees here fairly soon, with an announcement on who they are, and we'll probably do a media announcement somewhere at a location. And then we also last week kicked off our discussions on our 4th Street area plan with some partners. The City Arts and Culture team has filed their historic designation of the 4th Street area. And so that is another tool that we're using to help us look at what the future of 4th could look like, as well as there's some activity at the university on their University Village plans and their Gateway District. And so with all those items coming together, it feels like a very opportune time to start our efforts in coordinating what the future of 4th can look like. So the CAC building, the former Community Assistance Center on Record Street, has been demolished. It is various pieces of rubble at the moment, which will be removed over the next month. The developer Ulysses has submitted their permits and they're going for design review. So that project should start December of this year. So that's 136 units of affordable housing. We are moving forward on the river. The river is from museum to Broadhead Park is under design. We should have a 30% design here fairly soon. And the idea is to continue with that project so that that is the first section of river to be redesigned and redeveloped. For everyone's information, the redevelopment agency does own the parking gallery, which is on the corner of First and Sierra. That is managed by Colliers as a property manager. We're looking at that building to do a utilization study because with the new church going into the old movie theater site, as well as new development, residential development, too many re's. Residential development, we're having a conversation on how we can support the commercial uses and the tenants, as well as the future church use, as well as possibly 200 units of new residential housing. So we're doing a study on how to map capacity out. And we'll also identify some new technologies as well as some building improvements on that site. So we might be bringing that forward. And related to the 4th Street study, there's an opportunity, not right now because the federal government is shut down, but the Environmental Protection Agency is going to open up their brownfield grant program. And we see an opportunity for us to leverage our 4th Street plan funding sources to match it with some brownfields dollars so that we can increase the budget for our planning activities and then also do some phase 1 and phase 2 environmental assessments. Lastly, on the events and placemaking side, Rachel is working on exploring an expansion of our placemaking pilot program to areas outside the downtown. The pilot activation program is how we got our existing 70 events in the downtown core. We'll be looking at how to expand that program into the other districts and areas throughout the redevelopment areas. And then Western Lights and a lot of holiday events are currently being planned. So I thought we're done with the event season. We're going straight into the holiday season. So that is my report. If anyone has any questions, comments, discussions.
Mike Van Houten for the record. Slightly related. I saw the city post something about like fitness equipment going at Broadhead Park and another park on Saturdays. Is that like permanent or do they put the equipment in and out just for that day?
Yeah, you might know more about that.
Yeah, Ashley Turney, Assistant City Manager for the record. A lot of that equipment is actually permanent. So
Okay.
part of it is funded through our Community Block Development Grant Program. So those are federal funds that were enacted in certain parks in order to help fulfill, some spaces we know that need better activation naturally. So those will be permanent facilities.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 200 units you mentioned, what were the projects that were, because I know one is the Ross Manor one, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So Ross Manor is 86 units. That's it's now called 118 West, but it's the former Ross Manor, also Colonial Apartments. There's discussions about the Truckee River building going under some rehabilitation. That should be, I think, 16 units, depending on how they divide it up. And then we want a whole potential for the river boat redevelopment. They started to convert that project and stopped during the pandemic. But if that comes online, that does not have parking capacity. So that will likely need parking capacity at the parking gallery.
Gotcha.
So we are trying to model it all out. But also reserve some for future office tenants. Retail Birdies is probably one of the biggest users as well down there. And so at one point, the movie theater was promised every single parking space in that entire garage. I don't know if they've ever used that much capacity, but that's what they were promised. And so it's hard for us to promise other people capacity if the movie theater was also promised all the capacity. Fortunately, that contract with the movie theater has ended since the change of use. And so we have to go back to the drawing board to do the math.
Gotcha.
And it is hard because now we're talking about time of use because the church will likely use the capacity on Wednesdays and Sundays. And so it's nighttime users, daytime users, different days. types of users, overnight users, and it makes my brain hurt just thinking about it. But we're gonna bring in professionals that can help us do this three-dimensional map.
Is Siegel Group the one that's looking at rehabilitating the Truckee Lane building? They still own it?
Yes.
Oh, good, finally.
Yep.
Yeah, they've been,
Because those units have been empty for years and years and years and years.
yeah, they've been very engaged and interested in changing some of their footprint in Reno. So we're looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Any other questions, comments? And then noting for the record that Kurt Stitzer has joined. Thank you, Kurt.
Am I still needed?
No, I can hear you.
We have a
Yeah, but
quorum
am I
without
still
you,
needed
Kurt.
for the
No, he
quorum?
said he's still
He says
needed.
you needed.
And Kurt, we have a quorum without you. Thank you for joining.
So can I leave now? I'm serious, guys. I am up to my eyeballs in some really, really consequential shit.
Yeah,
So if
as
I'm
long
not
as we
needed,
maintain quorum.
Okay.
We're good, Kurt. We have one item and we've got enough of a quorum with everyone else. So you can hop off and we will be quick with our other members. I know you're all busy. So thanks for joining, Kurt. You're
Thank
good to go.
you. Sorry. I'll see you guys next month.
Thanks.
I also recognize it's Washoe County spring break. Okay, moving on to the next agenda item. It's our only business item today, and it is for action. It is the presentation and giving an update of where our rebrand process is at. And the item is we are seeking a recommendation from the advisory board on recommending design options to the redevelopment board for October 22nd later this month. So I'm going to turn it over to JP, our marketing program manager, who can run us through where we are at with residents and presenting on the design options.
Yeah, absolutely. So
JP, share the presentation.
yeah, let me share the presentation.
And confirming you all can see the residents
Presentation.
image online.
Yes.
Okay, we're in business.
All right. So JP Wirtz, redevelopment agency marketing manager for the record. Number one, thank you guys for all participating in the stakeholder engagement that we did several months ago. The outcomes of that have directly informed the brand presentation that I'm going to give you right now. So again, thank you so much. And before we dive in, the bulk of this is the visual identity. I have included some slides that kind of encapsulate the brand platform itself to provide a little bit of context going into the identity. We just didn't want to throw that. Here's our logo. We want to give you an idea of what our brand looks like kind of outside of that. So with that, we are there we go. So very quickly, we've been a city of transformation and rebirth, reinvention, and resilience from its early days as a railroad boomtown to a reign as a gaming and entertainment hub and recent emergence as a center for arts, tech, and entrepreneurial energy. Reno has always looked towards what's next. And so really this next slide is going to show you what we are going to be called and what we are calling ourselves. So we are the Reno Redevelopment and Urban Placemaking Agency. We refer to ourselves as Reno Urban Placemakers. The shorthand of this is RE-UP, and our promise is that we are Reno's city building engine. So really RE-UP allows us to go in a variety of different directions for both storytelling and branding itself. The obviously Reno, but it extends to redevelopment, revitalization, reinvesting, reimagining, repurposing, rediscovering, all of the great RE words that we can think of. On the same side of that, UPlease does stand for urban placemakers. But it extends to the storytelling of upgrading, uplifting, updating, upselling our city. And that really is what we are as Reno's urban placemakers. And really all of this brand platform that I'm about to dive into really is informed by the insights gathered during the brand workshop that we held with residents here on site. And then the stakeholder interviews, meetings, community survey that everyone was able to take part in. And this is really kind of an explanation of our overarching set of values, principles, and ideas that shape our overarching identity. So the target audience for the redevelopment agency, for me, is straightforward, but I just wanted to touch on a few elements of each one of these. Public partners are obviously our number one target audience. And by that, I mean the city of Reno itself, Washoe County, Public Works, Maintenance and Operations, the Downtown Reno Partnership, all of the individual districts, and I can go on and on. But these are people that need to be front row to what we're doing in order to be able to build the trust and partnership to be able to communicate our vision effectively. And the idea with this is to build lasting bridges and let them help shape the vision from the ground up with us. So we are not doing it on our own. We are doing it in partnership with these folks. The second group would be developers, both internal to the city and external. And we want to be the agency that helps shift the mindset from why bother with Reno to what if we chose Reno. Moving on with that, the Reno residents. They're our fiercest critics and obviously our loudest champions. Helping this group understand not just what we're doing, but why it matters directly to them. And I think that transparency is critical to this element, letting them know what we're doing every step of the way. Win hearts and minds with stories, not slogans. We want to actually be able to show what we're doing, not just shout it from the mountaintop and say, hey, look at these renderings. They're beautiful, we promise. And then kind of the final element to this audience is, opportunity seekers. This is the widest target audience. And the way that I view this is these are new grads. These are high quality talent from potential other regions. And the mindset behind this is if we build it right, they'll stay after graduation, they'll invest, and they'll help to amplify the city's momentum. And our success really signals their success as well. And so that is kind of the pie in the sky target audience that we would like. Moving on. So really the personality of the agency and how we communicate, very important. We're opportunistic. We view the glass as half full and filling up fast, and we're not naive. We've seen a lot in this city, but we are hopeful for its future based on the folks that we have in place. We are focused. We're relentless in a better pursuit of a better city, and we won't back down from complicated projects. The GSR is a great example of this. We'll embrace any challenge if we truly believe that it will lead to a better Reno. We are imaginative. We imagine what's next, for Reno, with Reno. I think that speaks to, the audiences that the audience personas that we've identified as we really want to bring as many people along with us for this ride. And we're inspired by the city's artists, thinkers, and dreamers. We look to the river, the desert, the skyline, and see opportunity. And Reno's future should be as creative as its people. And then finally, and I don't want to, this one should be obvious, but transparency. Trust is something we build with the stories that we tell and the projects that we complete. And we're excited to be able to tell those stories. And then being honest, collaborative, and consistent. All of those are critical to how we communicate. And there's fun little pictures that go with each one of these, but I feel like I touched on all of them. Don't have to. Transparency, excited. And so really this kind of all brings together to what are the cornerstone values of the redevelopment agency? And so trailblazing together, we bring the right people to the table and clear the hurdles to make things happen. Not about claiming glory for ourselves. It's about building better Reno together with everyone through the process. We are always proactive, resourceful, flexible, unshakably focused. I think that was evident in the first TIF deals that we presented to you guys. They're not just one type of project, it's just a variety of things to think about. Boundless ambition speaks to those projects as well. We think big and then we think bigger. We believe in Reno's potential and want to bring the partnerships, actionable timelines, and visionary goals to achieve those things. And we don't want to, this is important, we don't want to reinvent Reno because we are strong, but we want to advance, re-energize, and restore pride in what we have. And then I think the last element is everything with intention. We want to build with purpose, create partnerships with purpose. And every project, every partnership, every decision serves a deeper goal to make Reno work better for the people who live here. So with that, this kind of brings all of those things that we just touched on together. And we start with we act with the city's priorities in mind. We build belief in what's next, and we always show our aim. We want to, again, be able to show what we're doing with transparency while bringing along everyone with us. And with that, any questions so far on the background? That really just kind of provides context for leading into the visual identity element. Questions, comments, concerns so far? All right. So this is, I'm genuinely pretty excited to share this with everyone. So this is the visual element of what everything that we've done in this project with residents so far is encompassed by. So when we started to think about what elements we wanted to include for inspiration for the design team, these are some of the images that we selected for inspiration. And the idea is, building the city block by block. The images are modular and intelligent. There's a sense of flow and movement, bold, clear typography, and then dynamic visual perspective, being able to show areas from a unique perspective, so to speak. And so so there's three separate options here. The first two are very similar. One is uppercase and one is lowercase. And so option 1A. So we are a force of transformation, helping Reno rise to its potential. We know it's a city that's so much more than the sum of its parts. From city center to green space to mountaintop and beyond, this brand identity captures Reno's role as dynamic, opportunistic placemakers. With Re-Up, it's a clean, approachable design and helps really just kind of blatantly explain who we are. Adding a little bit of color to it changes the dynamic a bit. See a few more iterations of it here. And notice that all of the letters are uppercase. So beyond the logo itself, there's a colon separating the re and the up. What if we took it a step further and added some iconography to this to help formulate different stories and be able to explain projects and individual stories a little bit different. So this iconography system that they created helps us capture concepts that might not necessarily, be visual, hard to visualize concepts. There we go. Placemaking, renewal, environmentalism, the river, downtown, civic pride. These are all elements that we can include in this iconography that switch up as we go, and we can adjust this for the story or form of communication. And this is something that I like. There are many expressions of this, or as many expressions of Re-Up as there are projects happening within the city. An explanation of each of the icons, and a cool element to these icons as well is as we add projects and as we brand new spaces, we can add bespoke icons to our communication folder, so we can add to this language throughout the process. You can see it expands well. And this is what it would look like visualized on some street hoarding. Couple different styles. This is what it would look like iterated on a great looking report. Another great looking report. Bags. Who needs swag? Couple different ideas. This is what it would look like iterated on social media. And this is what a possible landing page on a website would look like. For why this works, it's bold and clear brand foundation. It is straightforward, paired with an ever-evolving and ever-growing brand language that humanizes the brand. That's that iconography and the bespoke icons that we can add and create. A clear and transparent voice that tells it like it is, and a brand language that grows with each completed project, further visualizing our impact and legacy on the city. We have another option for everybody, option 1B. It is the same style as the option 1A, except it is, I won't enthusiastically read that again, but in lowercase. And this is Resonance's preferred direction for this particular option. It looks clean. The lowercase elements are modern. They liked this for option 1. And I won't read all of these things. It is the exact same logo, just in lowercase. So there's great icons. Look at how beautiful it is. The colors pop. That is it with a whole bunch of different icon combinations. The icons don't change. And again, this is it, iterated on street hoarding. A great report with the lowercase logo. Some great bags. Very exciting. I went through that quickly. It's all exactly the same as the first one, just with the lowercase. So option 2 is a fundamentally different direction than option 1A or 1B. It's a read again, cool. We are a team fueled by our love for Reno and our vision for what's next. Bold yet stable, imaginative yet relentless, carefully assembled to build the future of Reno. This brand identity captures our essential role in giving perspective to the future of our city, bringing order to complexity, and working with considered precision. We are Re-Up. And so it's very similar in terms of lowercase letters. Arrows signal forward and upward momentum, and adding a little bit of dynamism to the brand. So there's also, we deal with building projects, and we are foundation and growth. We're structural. Re-Up has a row in laying foundations for Reno's growth. There is upwards perspective, momentum and direction, signaling progress and optimism. And finally, modular, flexible and utilitarian enough to be a frame for photos, a pattern, and even a background shape for text. Adding the Re-Up from earlier, we get a really nice architectural layout of a logo. Well, we are the Reno Redevelopment and Urban Placemaking Agency, so that adds a nice perspective for the full name. And to add a little bit of color to it. It looks really architectural, feels open, window-like. We're able to use this either diamond or each element broken apart for a variety of different communication styles. And you can see the logo broken out into a variety of different ways there. This is it iterated on some street hoarding and how you can chain that logo, either completed or just the empty space behind that. Again, iterated on some street hoarding, chained together in a slightly different design. This is what a glorious city impact report would look like with the diamond shape in a negative. This is it kind of a little bit more structured, but again, you can pull out that logo and replace it with other text. Iteration of an impact report. And of course, swag and bags and a architecturally themed design. Our Reno Urban Placemakers. This is what it would look like on a potential landing page for a website. An alternative landing page for a website. And you can see really here how you can use each individual element of that logo shape for individual photos or storytelling. Why this particular brand works, it is solid with subtle arrows evoking progress. The block evokes construction and a sense of transparency and structure. And it is understated and cohesive. And so these are all of the elements right next to each other. And a little bit more, I think there's, yeah, that's the last one. And that, so those are the options that we have right now. Obviously, 1A and 1B are very similar, just uppercase or lowercase. And then option 2 is a departure from that, and is a distinctly different design. And that really brings me to the end of my presentation. It's a little bit of our brand platform and finalizing with these 3 individual visual identities. And so with that, I think I'll turn it over to you guys for discussion. Questions, comments?
Paul.
For the record, Paul Klein, member chair Paul Klein has joined virtually.
This is Nettie Oliverio, and I will just offer impressions. I lean toward really liking option 1A of the bunch. Obviously, as you said, option 1B is very similar. In writing, lowercase re colon is regarding, and for so many of us. And so in seeing that, my brain would automatically go there. I don't know how many others' brains would go there, but there we are. Option 2 reminds me somewhat of the waste management thoughts toward rebranding. And so, we don't know how that's going to phase out, but there's some similar portions of that. So anyway, of the 3, option 1A, I like. And thank you this is a lot of work in this, so thank you.
Mike Van Houten for the record. I like the first option probably the most. I think the typography is a lot stronger when they're uppercase than lowercase. The issue I have with the option 2 is the text that is in the lower left. Depending on how that logo is used, that text I think almost fades out a little bit too much. Like if you had to use that logo in a smaller space, maybe like in a web banner, that lower left text would be really small. And so, plus I really like the capital letters. I think it is a lot more of a how do I describe it? I don't want to say alpha, but just a little bit more powerful, like than the lowercase lettering. So I'd say option 1A is my favorite. But what one do you like the best?
Oh, we're here for you guys.
I know, but you're a branding expert too. What one did the agency like the best? Did they have a preference, resonance, when they presented these to you?
Resonance did not have a preference for anything. These were they stood by all of their work one way or the other. The only recommendation they made specific as regards to and it's fascinating to hear the feedback that multiple people like the uppercase. The only recommendation that they made regarding any of these is that of those 2, they liked the lowercase. It just seemed more modern from their perspective, but that's why we're having this kind of open forum. It's fascinating to hear that the uppercase was the one that stood out.
I just think the letters frame themselves a little bit better when they're uppercase. That's just a personal preference on that for me.
Fair enough.
For option 1A.
Kara Harris, for the record, I actually really did like the lowercase, but to Nettie's point, I can see what she means about the RE. I liked the lowercase, but I like the first 2 definitely the most. And I wouldn't say I like one more than the other, but I like the icons. I think it's really, and I like the color scheme.
Yeah, I do like the color scheme as well, Mike Van Houten for the record. And the icons are great. Be able to switch those out in different uses or situations. depending on what you're marketing. That's a really nice touch because it allows you to switch out the logo without really switching out, the logo. Because usually a logo is a logo, no matter how you use it. And so,
Well, and that's one of the cool elements is that, as we expand the brand communication, they did say we can create bespoke icons that are specific to a park, a specific building, a specific project. And I think that that'll help really be able to flesh that out even further.
yeah, you're reinforcing whatever it is you're marketing visually a little bit by being able to switch those out. But the standard one would be the colon then, like in a normal generic case.
Yeah, most likely.
And this is Nettie Oliverio again. I agree totally with Mike. And I think the iconography is really great.
Michael Pani, I'm not a marketing guy by any stretch. But I agree with Kara's comments. I like the first two equally, and kind of echo everyone's comments about just the good work of this and the way this kind of pops off the page. So no preference between 1A or 1B, but those would be the two I would look towards.
Made me feel really good when you say it pops off the page. I appreciate that.
Jay Kenny, for the record, I like 1A. I like the bold, big letters. I think it stands out the best. You're just missing an icon that's with a donut, and I mean that would really pop. All right,
we can get there, absolutely.
Okay, all right. No, but great job, great presentation. But if I were to pick, it'd be 1A. So thank you guys.
Awesome, thank you guys. Any other comments or points of discussion?
Thematically, Brian McCarroll for the record, thematically, how do you all feel about it beyond just the design icons, but the direction, the theme?
The audience personas.
Yeah.
Kind of the brand platform that I presented a little bit before the visual identity. I'm happy to go back to any one of those individual slides.
Can you go back to the reasons for the second option again, really quick? Option 2.
Option.
Oh, the why it works
Yeah.
page. Yes, went a little bit too far. Sorry about that.
I mean, Mike Van Hout, for the record, I think conceptually I understand the why the RE is there and all the different wording that represents, and I think that's good. Is that what you meant by thematically, or?
So Brian McCardle again for the record. I mean, if this is adopted, we will no longer be the Reno Redevelopment Agency. We will be on paper. There's some background to that, but we will now be known as RE-UP, which is, the re can be utilized multiple ways: Reno redevelopment,
Right.
revitalization, all that stuff. And so we just wanted to get some impact thematically in that direction. It is a name change. It's coming out with a theme and a
different. I mean, it's
a brand promise, I guess,
and a different way of communicating in general.
I definitely can see, like, if you develop a video or an introduction video to the brand change where you kind of fly through the different words that represent the RE, and then the different words that fly through the UP to kind of reinforce why those two sections are there in the brand. So I think you have a lot of play with that as you move forward. I think that I think businesses will totally get this. The public might be a little bit more, clueless, because I think a lot of them don't understand branding to begin with. They just know what they like, visually, but they don't understand how much torture goes behind developing a brand, that goes behind it, but I think the public will have to have the biggest sell on it. Just from comments already, like, why are you doing this? Why does it have to be rebranded? You know? And so I might expect like an uphill climb on selling the public with this, but I definitely see the other target audiences that you listed understanding this a lot better, especially if you, when you roll this out, you have some kind of motion or visual that goes through those different wordings of the RE and the UP to make it a lot more sense. But if you just flash like re-up in front of the public without any context, they're going to be like, what? You know, and so.
Yeah, JP Wertz, marketing manager for the redevelopment agency, for the record. Really great points. And I think that's one of the elements that we wanted to include, or why we wanted to include Reno residents as one of the targeted personas, is we understand that there's going to be some education that goes along with this, both in what we do and with the brand itself. But it would feel empty if we didn't include them, I felt.
Sure. So Mike Brown, for the record again, do I have to say that each time if I'm
No.
still, okay.
You're just a couple times so that way our minute takers know it's you.
For rolling this out, is it all going to be kind of synchronized, like social media channels, a website, and are there any other, what's the rollout concept you're thinking for the?
So we're still keeping exactly what our rollout plan is under wraps. I think that once that we've gotten the recommendation from this board, and then we take it to the redevelopment agency board on the 22nd. From there they'll give us their official recommendation on what direction to go. We will finalize one of these options, and there will be a more robust rollout of that from them. The reasoning for kind of letting it out of the dark right now is to get our feedback, or get feedback from this board, and then directly take that feedback to the redevelopment agency board.
Gotcha. So once it reaches the redevelopment agency board, we all kind of seem like we're aligned on what we like here on this board, but who will make the final decision? Like, what if half the council likes one design and half the council likes another design?
Fortunately, there's
Weighing in on that.
seven.
Yeah, Ashley Turney, assistant city manager, for the record. So the process of what we're looking for would be motion for recommendation from this body today on which of the three you like the most. Then staff will be bringing this forward with residents present at the 10/22 council meeting. We will then be asking for a motion from the RDA board on one of the three. They may choose to change it. We like this colored teal. We want more green. I really have an affinity for uppercase, whatever it happens to be. So we will expect a motion from the body on 10/22. We'll take that back to residents. They'll do their final refinements, and then likely November-ish, hopefully, we will be bringing back forward a final resolution for the agency to be known as ReUp, the Reno Redevelopment Urban Placemaking Agency. And we'll have official debut of website, social media channels, and there'll be press opportunity as well as full debut at that point. So that will be likely November or December.
Gotcha. So Reno Redevelopment Placemaking Agency is the extended?
Reno Redevelopment and Urban Placemaking.
And Urban Placemaking, okay. I like that.
So I think with that, we would be looking for a motion from the body on a recommendation that you would like staff to take forward to the RDA board of what your recommendation on the rebrand is.
Share all of those options once again.
I'll make a motion. Mike Van Houten, for the record, I'll make a motion to recommend to the city council both option 1A and 1B with the existing color scheme that was presented to us and with the existing iconography.
Michael Pine, one clarification, you mean to the redevelopment agency board instead of
Yeah.
council?
Yeah, redevelopment agency board.
I'll second that motion.
Oh, yeah. Discussion, or all those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, motion carries. So the recommendation from this body will be option 1A or option 1B. Okay. That's what we'll take.
With the color and the branding and everything that goes along with it.
Yeah.
I really like that green.
Yeah, what they see will not change from this.
Gotcha.
Yep. Okay. Item C, board commission committee members, reports and announcements. Any committee members have any reports? Okay. Future agenda items. Any members have any agenda items that they would like to address or recommend? All right, hearing none. Item E, public comment. Do we have anyone that would like to make public comment either in the room or online? If you are online, please raise your hand and we will call you to speak. Okay. That means we are adjourning. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
This is Nettie Oliverio, motion to adjourn.
Jay Kenny, I'll second it.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. We are adjourned at 12:01. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And good job. I like the enthusiasm.